Hello everyone. You can't even see my face because I'm doing the May manga roundup and I am covered by a tower of manga. I can't even do my typical like coming into frame holding the manga because I have two ginormous piles of manga that I read last month. So hi, my name is Laura and welcome to my channel. Last month I did the May manga challenge. I challenged myself to read as much manga as I could in 1 month and boy did I exceed my expectations. I went a little bit, I got a little carried away. So this is going to be a long video. I'm gonna try to make it as quick as possible. There are some series, so that will help me just lump things together. So I'm gonna get started with Butterflies Flowers. This is an older josei series. Josei, if you don't know, is manga intended for adult women, so it is a lot more explicit, and it also deals with stuff and topics and relationships that adults, you know, could relate to a little bit more and would appreciate more. So yes, I love this. It was great. It was actually a lot funnier than I thought it would be. It also had its dramatic moments and plenty of spice. I was very surprised by how much there was of it. So this story kind of follows the childhood friends to lovers trope, but with a twist, because Choco, our female protagonist, when she was younger, she was raised in an aristocratic family with a large plantation and servants and all of that, and one of the servants' sons was him. So he grew up in the estate with her and he used to take care of her, so he always felt very protective of her, and she had, you know, as a little kid, she had a crush on the slightly, you know, older boy who lived with her. And then from there, obviously, you know, there's gonna be some romance in there, but it's just a very interesting series, at least for me, because of the whole he never outgrew his servant mentality and he always felt the need to take care of her. So it was really entertaining, super funny. Oh my god, there were so many just funny moments. Yeah, I think that out of the josei series that I've read, this is by far the funniest ones, but it was also super sweet, so I really liked it. I think it's out of print, but I don't know. Viz has been promoting this series a lot recently, so I don't know if it's going to get reprinted or what's going on, but in some of their latest releases, they keep promoting Butterflies Flowers, so maybe they're bringing it back. I have no idea. I read volumes 1 through 8. Number 7 I had to buy through the Kindle store because I could not find it anywhere. If you like titles like An Incurable Case of Love, Happy Marriage, which I'm going to talk about it in a little bit, you would really love Butterflies Flowers. It was great. So talking about Happy Marriage, I read volumes 1 through 10, so I read the full series and it was fantastic. This is by Maki and Joji, who is one of my favorite mangakas. She's also the mangaka behind An Incurable Case of Love. And much like An Incurable Case of Love, this has drama, it has some comedic moments, it has plenty of romance and some spice. It is rated mature, so do bear that in mind. I really enjoyed this. It was definitely a lot more dramatic than Incurable Case of Love. There was just different things about this series that, you know, were a little bit more intense at times, but I still really enjoyed it. Very typical of Maki. Her male leads are just, they're fucking dreamboats. They really are. But in this series, you have Hokuto, who is a CEO of a business, his family's business. But yeah, I don't want to spoil it because there's so much that happens in this series. But I would say if you like The Incurable Case of Love, you would love this guy as well. You have Chiwa, who is our female lead. She's adorable. I find all of Maki's female leads to be very just likable, and they love so much, which is one of my favorite things. Like they love their partners. And they're very silly and very optimistic, and yes, I just adore her female leads, but the male leads are just, yes, Yes. So I really love this. I know this is also a harder series to track. I'm not sure if Viz is going to be reprinting this series. They have been promoting it a lot more recently, so it makes me believe if they're promoting this and Butterfly's Flowers, like there has to be a reprint, you know, happening soon. But yeah, really enjoyed this a lot. I just adore Maki's work. I mean, you can tell I enjoyed it because I annotated the crap out of it. And I know some people always wonder what I annotate. I annotate dramatic moments, sad moments, romantic moments, some spice. The darker reds are the spice. I also do annotate that. What other series can I just talk about really quickly? Let's just do Fruits Basket. These guys are huge. These are the collector's editions. So I read volumes 1 through 7. Woo! 1 through 7. Oh my god, that's a lot. So if you're not reading or watching Fruits Basket, honestly, you're missing out. Fruits Basket, on a very surface level, doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal. I know when I first started watching the anime, I was just like, oh, romance, people that turn into animals, cute. But no. There's just so much to be said about mental health, about trauma, about relationships, friendships, all of that, that I feel like Fruits Basket just tackles it really well. And yes, it makes me cry every single time I watch it and every single time I read it. There's just so much. But it's an incredible feat for an author to create as many characters, because there is a ton of characters in Fruits Basket and you end up forming these attachments to everyone. And even though some characters I relate more than others, I can really empathize with, you know, their backstories and their pain and their trauma a lot. But the character that I definitely relate to the most, and I've mentioned this on TikTok several times, Yuki. Every single time we're presented with a backstory or him discussing his trauma or anything like that, it makes me sob. I just see so much of myself in Yuki. Since I'm playing basically catch up to what we're seeing in season 3 with the manga, I'm definitely seeing a lot more of the foreshadowing that happens in Fruits Basket. A lot of it went over my head as I was watching the anime for the first time. So it's been really great, you know, reading the manga, recognizing those moments where the author foreshadows, you know, bigger moments in season 3. And yeah, it's been a beautiful experience. Definitely much sadder than what you know, much sadder than I ever anticipated, but I adore these characters so much. All of them just bring something to the table, and yeah, I adore it. Highly recommend. Let's talk about A Sign of Affection. I've mentioned this before. This is a romance manga by Su Morishita, which is a duo. You have the author and then you have the artist, which I just love the way they collaborate. This was so cute. You get a lot more moments between Itsuomi and Yuki. I've talked about this before in one of my other videos. It's just the sweetest, most tender, romantic story. And I love that our female lead is a deaf girl, and I love that he has good intentions and is not just like getting close to her for, you know, some malicious reasons. So yes, and the artwork in this is just beautiful. I always admire artists that can draw hands very delicately, and Su Morishita can definitely do that. So yeah, this was amazing. If you liked volume 1, you would love this guy. It just keeps getting better and better. And also by Su Morishita, we have Shortcake Cake. I read volume 1 and this is adorable. Definitely very different story. So we have high school kids here, we have college students in this guy. You know, this was enough for me to become intrigued with the plot. It's high school students living in a boarding house. There's a little bit of a love triangle and just a lot of a lot of these kids trying to trying to figure out what they want in life and all that stuff. So I thought it was adorable. I have already picked up a few other volumes. I read volume 2 and 3 this month. So yeah, I've been really enjoying it. It's cute. Then we have we have a BL here. This is Katakoi Lamp. This was so cute. It was adorable. It was such a sweet and wholesome BL. Both characters are in their 20s. One is, I would say, he kind of presented himself as, actually both of them kind of presented themselves as bisexual. But yeah, it's just them. We have these, the owner of a cafe and a customer that regularly frequents the cafe, and at first he thought that he was visiting the cafe because he had a crush on him, but it turns out he had a crush on one of the waitresses instead. But they formed this friendship that is just so lovely, and then from there start developing feelings for one another. So it was adorable. I really liked it. It was very sweet, and the artwork is so cute as well. But yeah, these guys are just, they're precious. So I really enjoyed this. This is a one-shot, so just one volume, that's it. And I also started this guy. This is the Demon Prince of Momochi House. If you like Kamisama Kiss, you're going to love this guy. It has very similar themes. So you have, you know, temples and yokais and spirits, and you know, the female protagonist is another high school girl. So very similar themes, different execution, but still, you know, it's that like fantasy romance that I really like in Kamisama Kiss. So I read this guy, which is in French. I found it at Book Off. Really liked it. The artwork is absolutely beautiful. I don't know if you can see that. It is amazing. So he's the same guy. So that's his like human form. This is his yokai form. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I picked up a few other volumes. I'm waiting for volumes 2 to 5 to arrive so I can keep going, but really liked it. So I'm definitely going to continue reading it. It is a complete series. It has, I believe, 16 volumes out. Also read Still Sick, which is a GL. This has 3 volumes. And yeah, it's amazing. This is such a cute GL. So it deals with 2 adult women in the workplace. Let me just check their ages. I actually like that they have a character profile. It makes things a lot easier. So yeah, we have Makoto, who is a 29-year-old engineer, and then we have Akane, who is 25 years old, works in general affairs, so kind of like HR, and they both work at the same office. She writes Yuri manga, so manga about, you know, female relationships, and but she does it as a hobby. So the way this story starts is that she's selling her doujinshis, I think that's how you would pronounce it. She's selling her Yuri manga at a convention, and she's always kept that that side of herself a complete secret from her co-workers, and she wanders into that same convention and finds her co-worker, and Makoto is just kind of freaking out like, oh my god, somebody discovered my secret. They know that I write about, you know, about Yuri manga, about female relationships, and she hasn't come out to anyone at work as a lesbian. So she's freaking out, and then from there they start forming this friendship. She later finds out that Akane was an ex-mangaka who gave up her love for, you know, drawing manga, and the series just focuses on their relationship, how it progresses from just a friendship to a romantic relationship. It also deals with them kind of figuring out what they want in life. And then you have Akane, who is, you know, questioning her passion. Can she go back to enjoying manga? There's a lot of very complex emotions. I really enjoyed this. I think because both of them are close to age to me. Yeah, really enjoyed this. There's only 3 volumes, so I would highly recommend picking this up. Then we have a BL that I was not a fan of. We have Caramel. I bought this at Book Off. This I found very problematic for several reasons. You have a very large age gap. So you have a 30-year-old, so he's my age, and an 18-year-old, which he calls him kid when he moves into his apartment. He moves to Tokyo, the little kid moves to Tokyo to study, finds himself a too good to be true deal of basically not having to pay for rent, but instead, you know, cleaning up the apartment, making dinner, all of that. So yes, and with that comes him taking advantage of the 18-year-old. Their first, you know, sexual interactions are non-consensual. So yeah, it just did not sit well with me, and I did look up reviews for this, and a lot of them were very positive. No one ever mentioned the large age gap in this, which the fact that it was non-consensual at first and that large of an age gap just bothers me the wrong way. This is what triggers my big sister energy. I just cannot, I just can't. Like I just, as a 30-year-old, I don't ever see myself ever being like, yes, a high school graduate. That's exactly what I want in a romantic partner. Someone with no experience, that looks like a kid, that acts like a kid. Yes, I want him. No. Like I don't get it. So yeah, if you see Caramel, even if it's $5, I would say there's way better BLs out there. Just go for something like this. They're both around the same age. I hated it. And talking about series that I hated, I also have Love Me, Love Me Not. This looked so damn cute. So damn cute, but I hated it. And I feel like a lot of people just assume that I hate shoujo, which I don't. There's plenty of great shoujo series. You have, you know, Fruits Basket. You have Kamisama Kiss, The Demon Prince of Momochi House. That's a shoujo as well. Kimi Todoke, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. So I don't dislike stories about high school. I mean, also Shortcake Cake. That's a shoujo. If it's done well, I can appreciate it. I mean, I was a high schooler once. So if it's done well, I will, you know, love it and treasure it and still relate to it even as an adult. This just made me so irritated. I could not stand any of these characters. They all sounded bratty. Within the 5 volumes that I read, there was little to no character development. There was also a very weird love square type of situation. So you have these two girls who befriend one another, and then you have this guy is her stepbrother. He has a crush on her. She, best friend, has a crush on this guy. He is her childhood best friends. Well, not best friends, but they're childhood friends, these two. And these two have a crush on one another. Then the step siblings, he has a crush on her. She used to have a crush on him. And then, you know, had to kind of put her feelings for him aside once they became stepbrothers. He never did that. So then, without any consent, kisses her, makes the whole situation freaking awkward as hell and just uncomfortable. And yeah, there were several things I just could not vibe with, but the fact that there was just little to no character development for any of these, and we do have 4 characters that are, you know, big. You know, we have 4 characters that we're dealing with. All 4 of them I could not stand. I mean, if there was one character that I could tolerate, it was the childhood friend. This guy, yeah, he was the least irritating one of them all, but did not like it. Honestly, if you want shoujo, there's way better series out there than Love Me, Love Me Not. I also read this guy, which is by Clamp. This is the one I love. That is a very short collection of essays about different types of love and different types of women. You are presented with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different women and 12 different stories. So I love this so much. I mean, first of all, Clamp's artwork is just beautiful, and this collection of short essays just really displays their beautiful artwork. And I like the stories. I mean, they were so cute. A girl with a very short pixie cut. You have traditionally, you know, just beautiful women. You have older women, younger women, girls who, you know, want to get married, others that are, you know, dealing with loss or a breakup. So yeah, I love this. I thought it was so well done. Let's move on to Fly Me to the Moon. Volume 5 came out in May, so I had to pick it up. I love this series. I've talked about it several times here on YouTube. I just find it absolutely precious. So yes, this is basically the very last bits of what you see in the anime. This is Our Dining Table, another BL. I absolutely adore this BL. It is one of the most wholesome portrayals of a romantic relationship that I've seen, like, in general. The character development, the way the relationship forms, everything is just so, it's done so well at such a realistic pace. So you have an office worker and then a college student, well, kind of a dropout, but he goes back to school, that meet each other very randomly and then start forming a friendship because this is his little brother. He becomes very attached to this guy, and he grew up as an adopted child who was always excluded from the family. The kids in the family did not want to eat with him, so he just grew up with a very not appreciating eating because of how much he was belittled by his step siblings. Yeah, he has a very negative perception of what it's like to just sit down and eat and have a conversation with people because he's never really experienced that. What was I saying? I think I was talking about eating, eating by yourself. Yes. Okay, so it's very different to eat because you have to, you know, feed your body, as opposed to eating in terms of, you know, having, you know, that quality time with someone. So yes, he learns to appreciate that quality time with him and his brother. It's just very wholesome. I love this. It is a one-shot, so there's just one, you know, one volume of this, which is a shame because they have such a cute relationship. This is one of my favorite romance mangas in general. It's so cute. I also read volume 6 of Kamisama Kiss. I'm not gonna say much about it. I love Kamisama Kiss. And then I read volumes 1 through 10 of Kimi ni Todoke. Can I hold this up? Yes, 1 through 10. So this is a shoujo done right. This is beautiful. I got way more character development in this guy within the first 5 volumes. Well, actually the first 3 volumes than I did with 5 volumes of Love Me, Love Me Not. They both deal with high school students. They both have a very shy, introverted female lead with little to no life experience, but they're executed so differently. Oh, you also have a bunch of characters in this, but you end up attached to everyone. So, okay, Kimi ni Todoke is a story about Sawako Kuronoma, who is this girl right here. I adore her to pieces. So she grows up being excluded by her classmates. Everybody just is scared of her. They see her as the girl from The Ring. You know, I think in English her name is Samira, was it? I think, but in Japanese I guess it's Sadako. So yeah, people just grow up being super scared of her, so they exclude her and everything. They tease her. They think she is possessed and she's a ghost. And yes, she grows up, even as she goes into high school, which is where the story begins. Yeah, people are scared of her. They don't want to approach her. They don't want to say hi to her, nothing. And all she wants is to be friendly and to be, you know, helpful. She's always the one volunteering to help the teachers and cleaning up and taking care of the garden. And she just does that because she's a good person. Like, nobody's forcing her to do any of these things. I feel like with her type of backstory, it's very easy for her to just be, you know, bitter or angry or just, you know, hateful towards her students, her fellow classmates. But she doesn't have any of those bad feelings. She's just extremely optimistic and extremely kind-hearted, which for me, I know that I can be quite nice, but at the same time, if I would have endured the type of bullying and name-calling that she did, I would have not been as kind-hearted and optimistic as she was. The story begins with her meeting Shota Kazahaya, which is the love interest, and he did not go to the same middle school as her, so they meet as high schoolers. And instead of being scared of her, he is just very drawn to her and her kindness. So you have that friendship, you know, beginning to blossom. And yeah, I mean, just the character development between, you know, the first volume, second and third, there's so much that happens. She starts befriending people, like these two, Chizu and Ayane. They're absolutely precious. Yeah, she starts making these small changes, like by herself, but also, you know, with a little help from Kazahaya. And yeah, just her willingness to not give up in any type of situation is very admirable. It's nice as an adult experiencing all these very wholesome first moments, like her first real crush, her first real friendship, and just all these small moments that now I don't really come across very often. But it's very nice to get like those butterflies and just feel happy about these small victories. So it is a slow burn with everything. With the romance, it's a very slow progression. With the friendship, it's a slow progression. You not only follow Sawako and Kazuhaya's relationship, but you also follow, you know, the other girls and their relationships. You have a little bit of a love triangle, a little bit because nothing truly happens. But yeah, it's just absolutely adorable. Like, I love all these characters, but Sawako and Kazuhaya are just so cute. They're so precious. I adore them. So if you have not read Kimi ni Todoke, I highly recommend it. There's also an anime. There's only 2 seasons, so it covers up to, actually I think up to volume 10. There's 30 volumes in total. I adore it. Then we have Sweat and Soap volume 6. This came out, well, it was supposed to come out early June. I got it at the end of May. My Barnes & Noble just had it out early. This is adorable. This is another one where we have a very shy, introverted girl, Asako, she is the character that I kin. I rarely use that word. Like, I can relate to Sawako a lot, but if I were to kin someone, it's Asako. And there's so many similarities that we share that it's almost borderline scary. And it's not just like personality traits that we have in common, but also physical traits as well. Yeah, it makes me feel like I'm reading about myself, and it's just so scary at times. But I love it. There's a lot of character development for Asako in this volume. Moments that made me feel very proud of herself. Like, she's finally, you know, showing how much confidence she's built up, and in this volume they finally move in together. She finds her own voice, and yeah, great stuff. And I saved the smuttiest manga for the last day of the challenge. This is Yakuza Lover, which just came out. This is a Viz Josei manga. It's great. If you're looking for a smutty romance about a Yakuza leader, this is great. The artwork's also really cool. Yeah, it's really cool. I loved it so much. The artwork is beautiful. But yeah, there's some spicy moments in this guy. A little bit of an age gap, not that much. I mean, she's in her early 20s. She's a college student and he's in his late 20s, but you know, it's consensual. So I'm looking forward to volume 2. All right, so I think that's it. I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. 52 volumes. 53 because one of them I had to buy through Kindle. 53! Oh my god! That's a lot. Yeah, but I just could not help myself. I mean, Kimi Todoke was so addicting. We have Butterflies Flowers, which I just binge read, and also Happy Marriage. So yes, I read 53 for the May manga challenge. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions about any of these series, I do have videos up on TikTok on most of these series. You can also let me know if you have any questions in the comments and I will be answering them. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe to keep up with my content, and I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye!